One of them, yes.
Okay. That name rings a bell because I know you in my personal life. Was that an investor in a separate startup of yours before?
Yeah, yeah. He's second investor. Previous one was Advolve Media. He put money in.
Okay, because that's pretty interesting to me because that shows the long-term relationship with some of these investors, right? It's probably just like a customer. I really want to draw parallels between finding customers and finding investors because once you find an investor, you have an incentive to keep them happy because not only will they continue to buy products from you and invest in you, but they'll tell their friends, they'll tell others. I would hypothesize, I would guess that if this is a great investor champion who's been with you in multiple ventures, he's likely helped you find other funding. He's likely increased your credibility and you've already found him. So now you just have to keep him. Can you maybe share a bit of the roller coaster with this investor who obviously signed up for startup number 2 or 3 because of number 1? And I don't think you guys made that investor tens of millions of dollars on the deal. You guys had a relationship. How did that evolve over time?
People invest in people, and they always will, right? And you got to build that trust. And did we make that investor money our first startup? No, I'll tell you, we didn't. But I mean, they trusted, in myself and some of my partners as being reputable and trustworthy entrepreneurs based on our traction and how we dealt with them before. I mean, investors diversify their portfolio. They know they're going to lose money, but I mean, if you are doing things, pitching things, you're scaling, you're running things correctly, and it's not you as the entrepreneur. It's maybe the opportunity or the niche or the timing, which I think it's always timing. You're investable again, but you're right. Just like your first customer or your first investor, you need to start building these relationships. Your network is the most powerful thing that you're going to be owning. And if you're a young entrepreneur, build that up now, because when you're older and have less than half of the energy, you're leaning on your network in order to get business deals done or our investors. And it's kind of like the which I'm not sure if we talk about this, Luke, but the whole mentality behind find 100 customers who can pay you $100, right?
Yeah.
Or 100 customers who can pay you $1,000 annually, and that's your 100K. So you just find someone that trusts in you, build your influence around there, and then you're going to have a network of people you can lean on.
Yeah, well, to lean on an investor to the point where they don't make money with you on one deal and they come back for more speaks volumes to you and your co-founders. So that's phenomenal to hear that story. It's happened once with me and an investor too. I had to have that hard conversation where I went for a drink with this investor, very fitting, and and I broke the news to him. I don't think he was super surprised because our updates started to become a little bit more seldom. He understood that we weren't getting to where we wanted to, and actually it was a startup that was going to continue on. I just had resigned because of multiple reasons, and the investor didn't have high hopes of the startup succeeding necessarily with the team kind of breaking up. And I remember that meeting very well, and it was the most flattering thing because he essentially said, word for word, tell me what you're doing next because I'm going to be investing in that one too.
Yeah,
And I just thought
yeah.
that was just unbelievable that if you just look at the facts, I cost this person money. We're not talking about $10, $20. We're not talking about $2,000. And he says that he believes in me and he'll invest the next time. That's the best thing anybody could ever say to you.
It's great. It's great. I mean, and you obviously done a great job building on influence and thought leadership. Now on TrapTat side, if I want to sway away from investors, talk about customers, when I informed our customers were closing down, I had a lot of them say, great, let me know what you're working on next. Right?
The customers.
Yeah, which is really cool. So,
Wow.
we formulated our story in such a way to show, how we are improving, how we're growing and scaling, why we're investable, why things failed. And it puts the onus on, on the industry and more so on the opportunity and timing and less on yourself as a failure, right? So that's why it's super important to get your pitch down right to your customers and to your investors from the get-go. Build that relationship in the proper way, build your decks in a proper way that structures that relationship on the opportunity and not just the product, that highlights your team and your success so they invest more so in the opportunity and your team than the product itself. That's the best way of doing it. And that is a hard thing to do a lot of times in our decks, is just to convey our story and our thought leadership position.